No assistant for me. Let's see how that works out. About 15 years ago, I worked in a warehouse for a big supermarket chain. My job was to inspect shipments before they were loaded onto trucks. Each inspector had at least one assistant to help with the heavy lifting. One day, we got a new supervisor who thought he needed to make big changes. At the start of our shift, he assigned assistants to inspectors, but my name had no assistant next to it. I immediately protested, but he insisted that other assistants would help me when they finished their own work. I knew this wouldn't be enough, but he wouldn't listen. So I decided to follow my job description exactly. I set up the docks, marked the shipments, and then I stood there with my arms crossed. The shipments arrived, but I didn't touch a single box. Hours passed, and when the supervisor finally came to check, he saw my untouched dock and asked why the load wasn't prepared. I simply said, I don't have an assistant. Eventually, some assistants helped, but they had to leave for their own work, and my load remained unfinished. By the end of my shift, one load was half done. I left the paperwork in a visible spot and clocked out on time. The supervisor asked why I wasn't finishing, and I just told him where the papers were without stopping. The next day, I was called into a meeting with the supervisor and the manager. They questioned me, but I stood my ground. I explained that my contract only required me to inspect, not to do the heavy lifting. Helping was something I did out of goodwill, but since I had been treated unfairly, I had chosen not to. The manager turned to the supervisor and simply said, he needs an assistant. That same day, I got one. A few months later, the new supervisor was demoted. Our old supervisor returned, and things went back to normal.